So this is going to be just a short video about the oil pump for my Civic Turbo build. So I got an aftermarket high flow oil pump from Speed Factory. It's one of the places I'm getting a variety of my parts for this build. So I've got a D16 high flow oil pump, all aluminum. It's got a coating on it. There's not really a whole lot to tell about this. One thing I am going to change is I am not going to use the crank seal that they used for theirs. I'm actually going to take that out when the time comes and swap that out for a Honda OEM, because those Honda ones last for hundreds of thousands of miles. One thing that was kind of a disappointment with this is I believe they only carry this one high flow oil pump for the D16 blocks, and there are two different versions of the D16 block. One that has a dipstick mount point in the oil pump itself, and one that has a dipstick mount point in the center of the block between the exhaust header. This seems to be designed for in between the exhaust header one, so I ended up actually having to drill in my own dipstick mount hole, and I'll just be using some RTV gasket to seal it up properly when it's ready to go. But I mean, it was pretty straightforward, lining it up from my old oil pump to where it needs to be and where it needs to go to get the proper reading and all that good stuff. There's only, 5 bolts on this? Yeah. So putting the oil pump on is pretty straightforward. Just make sure that your surfaces are nice and clean. Clean. Same thing for your oil pump, which, it should be new. If you're doing a build like this, it should be new. It should be high flow. The D16s are well known for oil starvation under turbo setups without some type of upgraded pump or pressure system. So I used black RTV for my gasket sealer. And I, pretty generic doing gasket sealer. You go around, you follow the surface. I put it all onto the pump itself. And then you want to envelop each bolt on the mounting surface. On the backside, you put gasket material around the bolt hole, so if there's anything that gets passed into the bolt or anything like that, it's fully sealed around the bolt. And then you go and you put your oil pump on, and you got to line up your crankshaft with the input into the oil pump. You go and you finger tight these down, just enough to hold this in place against the surface, and literally finger tight. You let that sit for an hour, and then you come back and torque these down to spec. And then, if this was a generic oil gasket project, let's say an oil pan, you wouldn't put it back into service for about 24 hours after applying the RTV. Or in this case, it's going to sit for a while as I build other parts of it. So that's pretty much all that goes into the oil pump setup. And, pretty normal looking, nothing special about this one. Here's your pickup tube mounting point. I'm going to get that on at some point, but I am going to modify my pickup tube to take more oil, but that'll be in another video. And that's all for now. So we've got crankshaft in, main cap, and oil pump. The next step is going to be the rear main seal.